Here.
Alderman Adelman.
Here.
Mr. Chairman, we have a quorum.
Thank you, Elizabeth. Second item on the agenda is consideration of minutes from the Finance Committee meeting held on April 15th, 2013. Do I have any comments or, boy, is this volume turned up really loud? Or maybe I should lean back here or something.
Very sensitive.
Wow. Any comments or additions or amendments to the minutes?
I'll move for approval of the minutes.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Okay, motion carries. Thank you. The next item on our agenda is the annual Cemetery Commission report. This is to be presented by Colin Sylvester, the Cemetery Commission Chair. Would you like to step up? Welcome.
Is it okay if I just speak from here? If everybody can hear?
Does that work with the sound and the film and so forth? Unfortunately, you're on television, so.
Mr. Chairman, my name is Colin Sylvester. I'm currently the chairman of the Lake Forest Cemetery Commission, and I've served on it for 4 years and was appointed chairman by Mayor Kiely last year. When I became chairman, I did 2 things that seemed to be relevant. Number one, tried to answer the question, what are we doing? What is the Commission's role? And we came up with it. After some diligent work by prior members of prior commissioners and current ones, we've come up with a mission statement which we think focuses people's attention on what we're doing and allows us to respond to that question. The other thing that I did was to read the bylaws, which is not a bad idea for a chairman to do. And we found that we were in contravention of our own bylaws in not having formally reported to this committee as required in the bylaws. I can't say for how long, but since I've been involved, this was not done. So we have tried to address that issue this evening, and this will be a very brief synopsis of the required reporting on specifically on the investment policy which the Lake Forest Cemetery Commission follows. If I could go back to the mission statement, I'd like to just read it into the record. The mission statement of the Cemetery Commission is to safeguard the remains entrusted to us by establishing and fairly enforcing the policies governing the cemetery's use, ensuring its financial integrity, and enhancing the beauty of the cemetery site and natural resources for current and future generations. And that was formally adopted by the Commission in April of this year. The chief item that I want to report to you this evening is the investment policy and the results against that investment policy. The investment policy was approved by the City Council on August 4, 2008, so it's been in force for just coming up to 5 years, which we think is a good anniversary review date. It provides for various data, objectives, safety, liquidity, maximize rate of return. Anybody who's in the finance business will recognize those are to some extent offsetting objectives, and it's the manager's job under the supervision of the Commission to try and adopt a prudent man's investment strategy. We have the authority to delegate that task to a manager, and the Commission in 2008 chose William Blair to manage the approximately between 3 to 4 million of endowment assets. Certain investments which are approved, like equities, fixed income, cash, and there are some prohibited ones. The usual financial controls put in place, and we have a quarterly meeting with the portfolio manager and review diligently the results there too. I'd like to move on to the next slide, and this is just to give you a very broad overview of the data. As we said, we appointed William Blair in August of 2008, and if you could think of a worse time to appoint an investment manager, just as the recession was really starting to hit hard, that probably is just about the worst time I can think of. Since that time, as you see at that time, the total portfolio stood at $3.1 million. As of the beginning of the last fiscal year, April 2012, that had grown to 3.65, and at the end of this fiscal year, or the fiscal year just ended, April 30th of 2013, we just went over the 4 million level. So very broadly, the growth of the portfolio under the William Blair management has gone from, has grown by about 900,000. Now that is 900,000 net of their fees. So approximately 180,000 a year over the 5-year life. The commission is reasonably pleased with this, but we made a commitment that at the end of 5 years, which will be in August of this year, we would undertake a review of the manager. We certainly didn't want to change it on a year-to-year basis, but we thought a 5-year continuum was a reasonable period to review the effectiveness of any given manager, and we will be undertaking that review during the coming fiscal year. As you can see, there's a note at the bottom here that the 2013 rate of return was just over 10% on the total portfolio. There are various policy guidelines which the commission has established to guide the manager, and they're pretty much the same as you would expect in any prudent investment portfolio: cash, fixed income, domestic equities, and international equities. We did agree to a variation on that because of the very historically low interest rates on bonds and fixed income return. And with the Commission's approval and acquiescence, the manager increased the percentage, you can see there, of domestic equities a little, about 4 points above the norm, and took down the fixed income amount by approximately 5 points, 5.5 points. We expect to revert to getting back within those policy ranges really when the Fed moves to increase in interest rates. And really that's the summary of what I had to present this evening. I'm happy to respond to questions if anybody has any. Oh, sorry, one thing, yes, my apologies, I forgot. The outstanding debt of the cemetery, there were some bonds taken out, and they will be maturing in fiscal year 2015. We are paying them off at 145 in next year, 152, and then we'll be free and clear of repayment. And it will be our plan to probably use that money for needed capital improvements, particularly the revitalization of the ravines.
I'd just like to say, as one of your predecessors as chairman of the Cemetery Commission, that I can attest it's a grave responsibility.
Yeah, we do try and keep away from the skeletons in the closet.
Very well.
I remember, I guess I was on the zoning board when the columbarium was put in, and we were talking about the planning cycle for the cemetery commission, and I think the number was something like 300 years. I mean, it's like, well, we want to make sure that this is viable for the next 300 years, and I think it's the first time, and we probably don't have a structure in the community that's going to still be here in 300 years except the cemetery. So certainly a long-term responsibility. I do have a couple of questions going back to the whole investment portfolio. If you just going through some of the charts that were in the package that we received that was a little more detailed than what was in your presentation, it appears that since inception in '08, at least the stock portion of the portfolio, which I believe is the largest portion, had about a 4.2% return versus a 6.9% return for the S&P 500. So it looks good that you've gone from 3.1 to 4.1, but if it had just been indexed in the S&P 500 for, you know, a relatively low fee, like a very low fee, you could have actually outperformed. So here you have some underperformance by the manager. It underperformed both benchmarks, I guess, one being the S&P 500, the other being the Russell 3000 growth. At least that's what it was compared to. Fixed income portfolio did a little better and actually beat its benchmark, as did the international portfolio, so that's good. But I think you said that you're paying something like $180,000 a year in...
That was our net gain, net average gain in the portfolio.
Okay, what kind of fee?
32 grand was
Okay.
last year.
So it's around 1 point,
Yeah.
close to a point. Okay.
It's about 80 basis points on the 4 million number.
Right, okay.
And one of the things we will be considering during the coming year is whether or not we move away from active management to passive management. But we didn't want to make that, we felt that we should, the feeling on the commission was that we should give 5 years and give the manager a chance
Okay.
to show what he could do.
Just two things. I didn't, there wasn't anything in the package that indicated what the fee was, so I was not sure. But normally it's higher for active management strategies, and although it sounds like it's not actually too bad, it'd be interesting to get some competitive bids and see, especially if half the portfolio is indexed. You know, you might save some money. You might get better returns and save some money at the same time, so, over a long period of time anyway. That was it. Those are, sounds like you're on it, so.
I do think that my predecessors and the commissioners have managed this particular operation extremely well for the benefit of the city and the residents.
You know, there are a lot of portfolios out there that have never recovered from 2008, so it's not all bad.
I was talking more broadly. I
Right.
meant the whole way that the cemetery has been managed over decades.
Just out of curiosity, with the capital expenditures coming out, the projects for the ravines, generally, what are they going to be doing in the ravines?
We've commissioned a study from Conservation Design Forum, and they have come up with some recommendations for trying to prevent the erosion of the slope is the real thing. And to do that, there is too much canopy over the ravines. The trees are too dense and light is not getting down. So the growth on the ground is negligible, and that leads to the ravines then falling in on themselves over time. So it would be basically to try and open up the base and then grow some ground cover which will secure the angle of the ravine.
And very generally, how much are they estimating they're going to be spending for the renovation?
The estimate we just got, and it is only an estimate, it's a professionally done estimate, but it's not somebody offering a contract, was for the ravine on the north side, was about 750,000. And we think, and again, there is a very good chance that we may be able to get some state or federal matching money on that. But even if we can't, then we'll have, the commission will consider whether or not we can fund it from our own resources, particularly with that runoff of the bond payments in a couple of years.
Thanks.
What is the city charging for a cemetery plot now?
I will defer to my expert over here.
Oh,
on
good
that
one.
subject. But it's, I would say, average is between 5 and 13, depending on the location.
If you get a view, you charge more for the views?
If you want a view of Lake Michigan right on the bluff, you're going to pay a premium rate, yes.
Well, that was something I remember too from years back, that it was something like half of that. And I think there was a decision made to bring it up a little closer to market, but, so, I don't know, this was probably 10 years ago, so.
Our theory on that is that at some point, a long way, decades into the future, but at some point, the cemetery will come to capacity. And at that point, the reason for this endowment fund being built up is to allow the future commission to go out and purchase additional land to add, presumably at a non-adjacent site, but to provide for an ongoing service.
And St. Mary's Cemetery is immediately to the west,
It's adjacent.
and that's a totally independent operation? Or is it managed?
It belongs to St. Mary's Church.
Okay. Just curious. I assumed that was the case, but since they're right next to each other, I thought there might be some, obviously, yeah.
Well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Go back to my agenda here. In other business, which is the next item on our agenda, we had our monthly flash reports included in the package. Were there any observations or? One thing I observed was that the state seems to have caught up by a month or two. They're only 2 months behind on our income tax reimbursements as opposed to, they had been running 5 or 6 months behind. So that must be because of the increase in my income taxes or something that they're.
Well, close. They had an infusion of
Oh,
cash in
year-end
April.
swell, yeah, okay.
So they were able to pick up some of the backlog of bills, and that's also why they didn't make as deep a cuts in the budget as they originally thought they were going to have to make. So, but we consider it a one-time event.
It sounds like it, yeah. So, any other comments about the flash report? I guess same factor holds true for the real estate transfer tax, the trend that we've been seeing, which is that volume is up by about 40%, but revenues are flat. And in addition to pricing, that also, Elizabeth pointed out to me a couple of days ago that another factor that's causing that is a lot of, let's say, non-arm's length transactions that are exempt, i.e. foreclosures, deeds in lieu, those kinds of situations. So it's not just because pricing has come down dramatically, it also is the character of some of the transactions. Next item is the opportunity for the public to address the Finance Committee. Do I have any members of the public that would like to speak? There being none, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
Move to adjourn.
Unless there's something we want to do ahead in advance of the city council meeting.
Not necessarily, because we can just go into executive session if you want. Well, actually, I think we have to wait till 7 o'clock to go in. I was gonna say, is there anything on the regular council agenda that you need to talk about on the omnibus? We could, if you want, 5 minutes, we can get Susan Banks up here and she can show you the new website that went live.
Yeah, I was gonna
That's
say
a good
or
idea.
Karina, either one.
Okay. I don't know if you can pull it up? Yeah, she went to get it. Can you pull it up on the computer?
Thank you, Mr. Silvestri, for your great work.
He's getting out of here for the hockey game.
Hockey game starts in 10 minutes, right?
Tennis match. He's got a tennis match. Oh, yeah.
He was in the police group with me. And not a real bad
These
guy.
monitors aren't down over here. Is yours?
Down?
Is yours up? Do you have any?
Ours is
Turn
yours
it
not?
We've got 1, 2.
I turned mine off. We're gonna turn.
At the risk of being picky,
Channel scan.
the screen on mine is jumping all over the place.
Yeah.
I've got Zilch. I don't see that.
Huh? It's the Parkinson's.
Yeah.
Is it on?
It's glowing.
It's because you changed chairs.
There's nothing in there.
Maybe it's the wrong channel.
Oh, there's eBay.
Yeah,
That's
I
off.
haven't looked at that yet. I meant to today.
What?
New website.
Little doggies. RCA.
I'll have
Actually, got it a couple of times. to look at
HD,
things. I couldn't find a thing.
HDMI. What's the source
Oh,
supposed
it's
to be?
What I was looking for.
And it does take a while just to kind of get used to.
Sure, yeah, we have a few minutes, so if you wouldn't mind, why don't you go through the website? Sure. You can do it now, and then you can go home and watch
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and members of the City Council. We are very excited that the website has launched. The web authors have been working for about a year, getting all this navigation set and content moved over and content deleted that was unnecessary. And we're happy that we think our goals have been accomplished. We have pretty easy to find information. We have a fabulous mobile version. And also we have some wonderful marketing opportunities for residents, for new residents, for businesses, Parks and Recreation Department, Dickinson Hall, and Croya. So let me just navigate a little bit through here. Probably, I don't know if this is going to work. Can you do this and talk with the microphone at the same time? One of the quickest ways for residents to find agendas and minutes, information about boards and commissions, and other quick links is up here in the top right. Agendas and minutes, you click right there, and here we go. Above this blue box is where you will find everything for the City Council, the Committee of the Whole, and the Finance Committee. We use a third-party vendor for those committees as well as for housing our city code. All the other boards and commissions can be found down here, and you can search by category, by year, month. Boards and commissions is another quick link for residents where they can easily find all the boards and commissions, and they can click on any one of those and get information they need and members of that committee. And the third quick link at this time is, of course, the Festival and Fireworks celebration, which is coming up, and this takes you to the what?
Our website locks us down, so delete it. Now, when you go to the Festival of Fireworks at the top,
Yes.
see at the bottom where it shows allow once?
Oh, thank you. The pop-up. Oh, it's still not working. Well, anyway, the other things I'd like to call out here are on our home page. We talk about the 4 cornerstones that we zoned in on during our strategic planning, which are family, education, tradition, and philanthropy. So the web authors will have the ability to change out these photographs at any time. Let's see. Another very helpful link on here is contact staff, which is up here at the top of the page, and you can filter by last name, by departments. So if you clicked on Phil Alders, for instance, you clicked on his contact, you'd be able to send him a message with a subject and he would get that directly, or you could see his phone number and his job title at the same time. Also on the home page is a wonderful news section where you can see welcome to the website. We'll have press releases here, anything that is probably the hottest topic in town, including the agenda item that was removed from tonight's City Council meeting. The events calendar is something else that's new that we're really excited about. You click on the farmer's market, for instance, it will bring up information about the farmer's market. Any one of these dates you can download and put onto your Outlook calendar if you wish to do that. Also on the home page are these big buttons, which are very handy for those departments that we have that have a lot of programming that do not have their own websites. Obviously, Parks and Recreation is one, Dickinson Hall, Croya, Police and Fire need a big presence on our homepage, as well as the library. Also, our subscribe button here will bring you to a page where you can sign up for the Global Connect Emergency Notification System if you are already not doing that, or you can sign up e-news from the city. I also wanted to show you a couple of these drop-down menus, which are very numerous, so please check out the website and look at all the different opportunities you have. I want to contact City Council. We'll take you right here. All your contact information, your personal information. I want to has a lot of different answers for residents, I'd say, and that's a quick one. If you can't find an answer there, you can always search for an answer. And there are some beautiful portions of the website too that we've been able to add with lots of videos and photographs, which we've never been able to do before. You can check out this photo gallery. There's a lot of great photos with arts and culture, farmers market, festivals and concerts, history. There's probably about 50 different historic photographs in there. And we have the ability to add and delete photo galleries all the time and add them to different pages. Let's see. I guess I don't want to spend the whole rest of the 2 minutes telling you how you can navigate all around the website, but we think it is really robust, has a lot of information, and allows our residents to find information very quickly, and hopefully they will. So please navigate around and let us know if you have any input. We would invite all residents to do the same, and we'd be happy to answer any questions if you have any.
Susan, I just have a quick question, and I have to apologize. I haven't checked out the website yet, but I really appreciated seeing it today. And my question is this: if someone is looking for an agenda, other than the quick link, is there any other method to get there?
I want to.
That's what I was curious with the I want to portion.
View, find and view agendas and minutes, city budget, plans, city codes. Yeah, there are lots of different ways to look for that.
Or, for instance, I think there was a section that said, city council meeting. If you clicked on that, would it show you the agenda for tonight's meeting?
On the events calendar, it's probably
Yes.
something that we can add to that page as a module, but we haven't done it yet. So we're learning to use a content management system on a daily basis and making it more and more perfect every day. So that's probably something that we can do. But I would suggest for people who are looking for the fewest clicks to check up here for agendas and minutes and boards and commissions information.
And is there a way that you can get on some sort of list if you're interested in a particular issue?
You can click on the subscribe, and I'm not going to open it up now because I'm already a member and it won't let me look at different categories. But if you subscribe down here, you join the email list. By clicking on that, it'll bring you to a window that provides different categories where you can click on, I want to learn about information from Public Works or street closures or Parks and Rec or whatever. So we can add and delete categories to that as well. So as new issues come up, we can establish new mailing lists too.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
One group of people that strikes me might really be able to benefit from this, sort of in their marketing efforts, if nothing else, is the real estate community. Is there anything specific being done to bring them up to speed with this, with all the sort of pictures and views? And I mean, it's almost like you could almost do a tutorial running through this thing and really help a potential new resident,
Well, we have
get a sense of the city.
We have a section here called residents, as well as photo galleries, the history. Let's see, if you go back to residents, general information. There's more photo galleries, and we have our video on here, embedded in here, that we did present to the realtors a couple weeks ago, I think,
Right.
when we met with them. So they seem to be very excited about that, and they can download the video and put it on their own websites. should
What
they wish to
happens
do
when you
that.
type in Lake Forest, Illinois, in Google?
What happens?
Yeah, do you end up with the website, like, coming up first? Yeah, it'd be worth a try.
All right.
But then we have to wrap up. Just type in Lake Forest, you usually get Lake Forest, California, because it's before Lake Forest, Illinois, alphabetically.
Look at ours came up.
There you go. All right.
We must be the most popular Lake Forest out there.
All right. That's because of all the web development that's been going on, right? The
All of
10
us
people
going there a
pounding
million
away, right?
times a day.
Great. Any other questions?
Yeah. Would you know what the source feed is for this?
Source feed?
Yeah, is it USB or HDMI 1, HDMI 2?
That I
Kind
do
of a
not
blank
know.
screen.
You're not getting, you don't,
There are 2 screens now, 3 screens now,
Three,
there's
yeah.
a blank.
well, that's okay. The one in front of me is bouncing up and down enough to make me want to turn it off, so. We have a little teething problems. Yeah. Okay, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, the Finance Committee meeting is adjourned.
City Council will begin at 7:05.